Going on, guys? Changing up speed. Got some different music, playing some hype instrumental. We got Jesse Bogdanovich of the Whole Lifestyle coming in live and direct pretty soon here. I'm gonna put my hair to the side and be side saddle for this one, guys. What's going on, Jesse? How you doing, brother? Hey, Kareem. Yeah, raw transition diet. Sandra, hello again. Maurice, Pitcat, oh my. Whole Lifestyle's asking to be in. Let's get in there. What's up, Kai? W. Raw Chef in the house. McKenna, what's going on, McKenna? How you doing? I'm gonna wave you. I haven't done a wave. Boom. Yeah. Jesse, ooh, with your hair down. Damn. What's going on? You're a hair farmer and I didn't know it.
We did shopping earlier, so I've been a mess just running around. I haven't had a chance to prepare, but I'm so happy to be here with you and see all these people. It's an honor to be and share this bundle. It's been so good. So let's rock it. Hello,
from a blonde Fabio to a brunette Fabio. Here we are to rock it out proper, right? To share the fun of the bundle and the whole food lifestyle, the whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should mention that, right off the bat, the bundle. We're both part. You've got your first book you've ever written, right? Your first ebook.
Yeah, first book that I did myself. Well, Rainey did like artwork and some things in there, but we did the Simply Vibrant recipes together. So it's a pretty good sized book. It's got the best tips for anyone, beginning raw or even advanced. There's some things in there that everyone who's been doing raw long-term actually needs to know. So I'm really proud of that book. It's a good one.
Absolutely. No, it's super awesome. I looked it over. It's got some great recipes as well. And you're totally right. Like a little information can go a long way, and a little bit of really good information can go a long way. And you'd think that, a raw food diet, just eat fruits and vegetables. Sure, it can be pretty simple diet, There's still a lot to know within diet, but within the entire lifestyle, there's a lot more, and those things can take your life and your health to the next level. And our books, I have my 21-day spring meal plan in there, which is just released and has 3 weeks of delicious recipes, lots of favorites, and a whole bunch of brand new ones like my lasagna and cheesy scalloped potatoes. And dude, if you haven't tried my lemon garlic asparagus, I tell you, it's ridiculous, and the season's coming in right now. But ours are just 2 of 65 plus books in there for $49. And you can check out the link in Jesse's profile. You can check it out in my profile. We both have links right to the bundle, and you can learn more, because I know if you go there and you check it out, you'll probably want to go for it, because it's the best deal that has ever been presented in the raw food niche for sure. So it's only here till the 11th, and so many people come together to share it with you guys. But let's jump right into it, Jesse. You ready for me, man? You ready for it? Or should we just sit here and braid our hair? Maybe we could just braid our hair. Do a braiding tutorial. Can you braid? Can you do a braid?
Crazy long. With this virus situation, I can't go get it cut, but I mean, one thing they say is the longer your hair, the better your intuition gets. And I can tell you, it's been right on. I notice when summertime comes, I like to cut it and be short hair because it's nice and cool. But then I notice my intuition starts to dip. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really, there's something to it, And they said like Indians back in the day, and the American Indians, when they had their long hair, they could feel when people were coming to attack them and all these things were going on. And as soon as they shaved their heads, that intuition disappeared.
Yeah. They're like antennae. That's why I don't shave it off, or that's why I don't shave it off. I used to shave it off, but it's kind of funny. I used to do it when it was like a new cycle of life. It was like, all right, I'm letting go of the old. It's time to start brand new again. And I usually just let it grow right out. And yeah, it feels good. It feels darn good to have the long hair. Is that a part of the whole lifestyle, having long hair? Being a jungle man with long hair?
But I mean, it's everyone's choice, what they decide. But I've experienced, short hair and long hair. And the intuition is so deep, especially when I'm working with all these clients and I need to dig in and find some kind of problem or have them overcome a challenge that they've went around to a bunch of experts and they haven't figured it out. When my hair is the longest, somehow that it just comes to me. And if it doesn't come to me, then I go and talk to other long-term raw vegans who have done it more than me. I've done it 22 years, and I talked to Fred and others who've done it for,
30s, 40s.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good to learn, learn from long-termers and, to give homage where it's due. I've learned a lot from a lot of long-termers as well. And, from Doug Graham to Dr. Rick and Karen to, to Don Bennett, and he's a part of the bundle as well. So many, so is Dr. Rick and Karen, and
Yeah.
it's so awesome, to continue this and to share it out with everyone else also who's newer into the scene and who's getting into it or has been into it for a couple of years. And it's funny too though, because we're talking about diet. A lot of times we're talking about raw food and recipes, and the bundle's awesome for raw food recipes, and it's great for information as well. But what you really do focus in on, the name of your site, the whole lifestyle, right? So what does that mean to you, and why did you choose that for the name of your website?
Yeah, the whole lifestyle.com, because it's actually this, raw vegan diet is so much more than just the food we eat. So I called it, well, I was trying to come up with a name and all these different names, and I was actually at a health and fitness week with Doug, and we were sitting there with like 20 people around, and we were writing all these names out. And then I was checking certain sites online and stuff, and next they were taken. And then I was just thinking, I don't know, I just feel intuitively the whole lifestyle, because it's so much more than the food. And
was your hair long at that time, Jesse?
No, I don't think it was so long. But I had it on and off for years, so this is something I've done for, experimented with a long time. So, but anyway, so yeah, after coming out with that name, I just started. Well, the reason why I came out with that name is because I just knew that everything is so interconnected like a spider web. I mean, the food we eat is important, but some of the healthiest raw vegans, if they just focus on the food part, they're not going to get the results they want. And a lot of newbies coming in, this is really important, because
Huge.
A lot of people think like, oh, whatever, illness or this or that I have, they think that the raw food alone is going to fix everything. So they think that they can sit in bed or be bedridden because of their illness, and everything is going to heal, and their mindset's going to get better, and they're going to be positive. Yes, the raw food helps a lot. And if you eat a well-balanced, raw vegan diet, it helps immensely, but that's just the iceberg.
Yeah, it's just one spoke in the wheel, right? And it's such a misconception, and it's a prevalent one, because a lot of people talk about it, like people talk about it in such a way like foods that heal, and like, healing power foods and all these things, right? And when it comes down to it, it's not really the foods that heal. They just apply the nutrients and the goods for your body to heal itself, right? But like we said, food is just one spoke on the wheel. And if you just have one spoke and the rest of the spokes are like wiggly around, well, your tire's not going to be straight. You're not going to be riding smooth, and you're going to be off kilter and probably tip, and your wheel will taco, and that's no bueno, right? So what are some of the other big spokes? Let's just go through a couple spokes, and then I want to get into mindset with you, actually. But what are a couple of the other ones? What are a couple of the other spokes? If we said food is one spoke, what are some of the other ones that you really find a lot of people miss and don't really consider?
Yeah, well, okay, so then you go to the next spoke out from food, and that is to actually, eat enough food, eat enough calories, make sure the fruit is really, really ripe, because if it's not ripe, that's when it's, you get a sour stomach or you get teeth issues. It's got to be really ripe. Also, I'm a big advocate of greens. I mean, if you look around, if you go look outside, what is the color you see the most? Green. So lots of greens with those fruits. And also when you're eating your meals, don't be actually online and having all this stuff around. You want to actually move to the table. Right now I'm at my standing desk, and the table's just a few feet away. So I sit there and I, give thanks for that food. I close my eyes. I make sure everything is calm in my stomach, and just, checking in with my body and seeing that I'm really hungry. If there's something bothering me, I will get back up and come to the desk and write some things out, and then come back and try again. And when I'm really at peace, then I start focusing my energy on that beautiful fruits and things I'm eating. And then I start to, smell it. And then the saliva starts flowing. And then when I know that saliva is flowing, you get about 20 to 30% more out of that food. And then I enjoy that meal in peace. I, open the curtain, I'm looking out at the ocean or the trees blowing in the wind, and I really feel that connection with the food. And also I say thank you to my parents for having me. I say thank you to all the farmers, everybody who made this possible. And then I'm in such a blissed out, happy state that I almost don't need the food. But then biting into that mango or that apple, or eating those wild greens, it just feels so much more absorbable.
Yeah, it really sounds like you essentially make your mealtime into a meditation, and a practice, admission of gratitude, right? Which, I mean, that's a spoke on the wheel by itself. Like gratitude and mindfulness, like those are huge, huge in ways to really connect and express higher levels of health, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the next one is to just, look around and see what you're doing with your life. Because if if it's like the old days, we can't just sit at the table and all of a sudden we're eating this beautiful fruit or this nice salad or, raw vegan soup. We actually have to go out and get it. So we got to earn our food, got to get that fitness in, because sometimes you have to walk, 30, 40 miles just to get to a peach tree and eat those peaches, or you got to walk. Yeah. I can hop on the trampoline actually over here right next to me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Get it in, right? Get it in.
That's it. You got to get that fitness in, because then also you're going to feel hungry, and then you can get in more food, and then you'll get enough calories and enough nutrients to sustain yourself and be, one of the happy, healthy, raw vegans, instead of under eating and then all these other things happen to us. So we got to make sure we get enough. And also, like, another good thing is, like, in the evening time, it's better to have your, salads and fats and things, but not too late, like around 4 or 5 in the evening. I like to have my dinner, and that way you're eating all this grounding greens, and the fat is a little bit grounding, so it kind of puts you in that calm, relaxed state. And most people make this big mistake, is they eat fruits in the evening, and then they're up 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning, and then they feel horrible, and this is, a bad thing that happens. So we got to get our fitness in, and then we want to eat, during the right times. And I like to eat while it's still daylight. So, early evening around 4 or 5, have the dinner, have the greens to make you relaxed. And then my big tip also is for someone especially having digestive issues, have your salad, and if it feels big and heavy, rest for about 10, 15 minutes, and then actually go out for a nice, gentle walk and maybe catch the sunset like you do. So a 15, 20-minute walk right after you rest for a little bit, and a big salad, you'll notice that it goes down so good. And if I miss that walk, I notice I feel heavy after that big meal. And my salads are huge. They're a huge, big bowl with like a pound of greens in there, and, like a handful of fats on there and everything. So it's not like some small little salad. It's really a big thing. You need enough calories.
You need a bunch if you're getting your calories from fruits and salads, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I could go on and on and on with all these tips. So grab my new book out there, and it's in the bundle, and you will see all these special tips in there. And this took me, 22 years to learn the hard way. And after talking to thousands of clients from all around the world, I distilled it down into a small little thing. These are the most important. Of course, there's hundreds of them, and I'm just like a lifestyle geek. I'm so passionate about, I'm running around with a notepad. I have notes on my mirrors, and I'm just like, oh, when should I brush? When should I do this? And I just play around with it. And it's so fun, because what happens is when you dial in your lifestyle, you just your smile gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. It's true. And I mean, and when you see people's lives turn around, and you see people like, just doing better and feeling better and being more energetic and reversing old issues and stuff like that, it's like there's very few things in this world that are better,
Absolutely. And that feeling inside when you get your diet down and your life dialed in, you just, you feel so good. And another big one is, this is the one that people really hate to hear. It's about the sleep issue. We really, really need to, get our sleep in, because we're going to feel horrible. I mean, we could eat the best diet. We could have all organic, fresh, homegrown, with you, Chris, preparing it. And the person, gets the fitness in, and they don't get that sleep. We're only our weakest link. So a big one is sleep. And people just don't know what feeling good is anymore. They can be high on the food, which is great. But if you don't have that good rest, and you go to bed, like for me, when I'm going to bed, I do lots of gardening, lots of physical work, and I'm coaching with so many people that by the time I hit the pillow, I'm out really fast usually, and if there's something bothering me, again, I come to my desk and I write out the things that are bothering me, so I sleep good and, do things to unwind. And the thing is with this tech, it's so beautiful that it connects every one of us, but that blue light coming off there, it actually affects our sleep. And yes, there's blue light, this and that, but it's still tricking our body into thinking that the sun is still up when we should be sleeping. So as the sun is setting, Rennie and me have a competition where we go and we brush our teeth and we do all these things. And then we sit around and talk on the couch. And next, you know, we're both yawning. But if we were on Instagram or something, we wouldn't be yawning then. You know, we would be still up late. So try to, you know, get your tech, find a way to get your tech off early. Like for me, I like to shut everything off at 6 p.m. That way I have 2 to 3 hours. And same goes with food. If you have your food 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, you'll notice you have a super deep sleep. So it's the biggest.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't do raw food or you do vegan food, whatever thing you get, you need to get in that sleep. I mean, it is crucial. We all should be getting about 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And yes, raw food, you can go by more. I mean, in the beginning, in the days, I used to go by 4 hours of sleep, you know, because I was just so stimulated and so happy because the body just works so beautifully on food. But it doesn't mean we can abuse, you know, nature's, God's laws if we do these other things. So we have to have that balance. And when we have that balance, we are just so blissed out.
I've seen it too many times, you know, and like people get into raw foods and you know, they feel like they can get away with more things. And in some ways you can, just because, you know, you're getting more for less, right? You're getting more vitality for less expenditure of the body, but it catches up with you, you know, it catches up with you, and it's way more streamlined to be paying attention to that the whole time and getting your sleep in and consistently getting enough calories in and getting some sunshine. And just like sleep, like if you're stressed out and you're comparing yourself against others, or you're judging others, or you're judging your food and going, oh, it's not good enough, this or that, any of those stresses is going to take down your entire vitality kind of levels, right? So it's like, it's good to have all of that in balance. And sleep, I totally agree. I'll admit, man, I'm sad to say, but during the bundle, I've been neglecting sleep a little bit because I've been working so much and trying to put as much as I can out there. But all in its season with reason. And, you know, definitely looking forward to getting more sleep and consistently getting a lot of sleep, because like you said, man, it's nothing works as good if you're underslept, right? It's like, it's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us to also to feel that, you know, that drive to fall asleep, we got to look at our subtle feelings in our body. Like, you know, right around like 8:30, 9, I mean, I'm feeling it. If I'm not on tech or anything, I start to yawn and I kind of feel it. And also, a big one is,
can I get one for
if you get out there,
pass it on.
Get a little bit of sun every day, just like 20 minutes to 30 minutes on much of your body as you can. What that does is that puts you into balance. I mean, vitamin D is like a balancing hormone more than a vitamin, and it actually puts you in this blissful state. And I notice when I get a little bit of sun working out in the garden, I'm so happy to sleep, and I feel deep sleep, and I feel so connected to, you know, Mother Earth. And if I miss that sun for several days or it's cloudy, I notice it feels like I'm forcing myself to go to bed early. But yeah, that sleep, I used to not like sleep at all, but I find out that it's over the long term, for longevity, for all the repairing of your organs and everything. It's just the most important thing. And usually people don't want to hear it because of, you know, ever since the light bulb was created, we're all staying up. Work on it. If you just get a half an hour, you know, less, and build it up to an hour, or just start, you know, realizing these things. And for people overcoming, you know, illnesses and things, all these things took, you know, sometimes 10, 20 years to happen to us. And the subtle feelings in our body and nature telling us stuff we usually miss because we're so stressed, or we're underslept, or we're eating, you know, wrong combinations of food. So we don't feel that inside ourselves. So yeah, let's get back to balance. You will feel so much better. It's just, I mean, it's easy to get out of balance, you know, and even me, for years, I can get out of balance too. And then I figure it out and I start just, you know, focusing on these things. And I don't know, I'm just like a lifestyle geek. I love it. That's why I call it the whole lifestyle. And
me too, man.
Yeah, to be vibrantly healthy, we got to do all the aspects of the whole lifestyle.
Yeah, 110%, you know, and I've really noticed too that very often those that I've coached who seemingly have all of the ducks in a row, they've been doing the food for a long time and they're like, they know it all, but they're not exhibiting the results they're looking for when you dig into it. Those are usually the people that are either a little bit overstressed or aren't sleeping and are getting like between 3 and 5 hours a night. And you can't thrive. You cannot thrive on that much, and maybe you can for a short period of time. And that's why some people say like, oh, you can get by on less sleep. But in the long term, it is just proven and true, unless you're some weird genetic freak, which is very uncommon, that, you really need more sleep. And it just makes such a difference in your health.
Absolutely. And here's the thing is, I've been working with thousands of clients over the years, and when somebody gets the big C word,
Yeah.
They actually, I find out that that's the number one thing. They tell me that they get 45 hours of sleep at night, and some of these people are in their 20s and 30s, and for someone in their 20s to get that big,
Yeah.
that's sad to me because they're just so young, and next they're like 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. Every time it's that amount. It's either 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. So please at least bump it to 6. 7 and 8 would be better. And if you're repairing your body or you've missed sleep for years, even getting up to 9 hours, you just feel amazing with 9 hours. It's just cool.
Yeah. I love sleep, man. Honestly, like I love life, but honestly, sometimes I say I like sleep more than waking life. Like sleep is one of my favorite things in the world to do. I kid you not. If I could have an extra 5 hours of day and like there's 28-hour, sort of like 29-hour days, like I would probably be sleeping 10 hours. I'd just love to get more, like 10, 15, 10, 11, 10, 11 hours. I'd love to get every single night. I usually try and make sure I'm getting minimum 7 and optimally 9, and sometimes more if I'm really active. And the more active you are, the more sleep you actually require as well. So it's yeah, man, it's one that, a lot of people think is counterintuitive, but the more sleep you get, the more quality your work is, the more quality your life is, and you end up being productive in the right ways, when you're actually well slept. And we live in such a like go, 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 do, kind of like accomplishment driven society that a lot of people put sleep lower on the pedestal. But in reality, like, get more sleep, everything perks up from there.
Yeah.
Someone here is asking, what's the theory on people you are super healthy? What's the theory on people that are super healthy that needing less sleep? We just kind of talked about that and kind of are saying that that's not really true. I mean, when you're really healthy, you might for a period of time not notice the effects of less sleep because you're more vital and your body is, just in general getting more for less. But in terms of, weeks, months, and years, you're going to run into more and more issues if you shortchange yourself on sleep, right, Jess?
Absolutely. And it just adds up. So when we're young, see, the thing is, if you study energy and everything, and we're energy, so when a baby's born, that energy field is like this big ball around them, this huge thing. And as we get older, that little ball of energy starts to shrink. And then as we do the wrong diets and unhealthy lifestyle, that ball gets really smaller. And then there's people who are 80 and 90 who are, eating bad food, staying up late, smoking, and doing all these things. And then that ball is such a small energy field around them that one little cold or something will, wipe them out. So we preserve our life force. Our life force is so much, important because that's what keeps us going. And there's people who are like, Fred Bishy, Lou Corona, who are up there in age. And I mean, I cannot believe those guys. They're so old and so full of energy. It's amazing. And, I spent some time with Lou Corona, and we did actually an all-nighter. And I learned some things from him, and we were just all night long from 8 p.m. until 6 in the morning. We went all night, and it's amazing to see somebody at 70 years old who's been doing Raw for like 50 years to be full of energy. I almost couldn't keep up, but I used some of my reserve energies, and then, after that, the next day, I still felt fine. But this is the thing, that catches up to us. So if we just keep burning ourselves out, it's a subtle thing. See, this is the thing, everybody. We have to feel those subtle things around us. When someone has a illness coming or something happening, it starts with subtle little things. When somebody's, starting to do over exercise, there's subtle little aches and pains, and then they don't do anything about that, and then they're in a big race, and what do they say? Oh, we'll inject you with some painkiller, and even though your cartilage is, grinding, you won't feel anything after the race, and then next, that person's career. So we cannot, go against nature. It's just not, it's impossible. We can't improve on this beautiful gift and this beautiful way of life that we've been given with all these things. It's just natural, and we have to, make it fun. That's another thing. We got to make this so fun. I'm just as excited as my first day of raw vegan back in, January of 1998, just back then, this excited and bubbly, and here I am 22 years later, just over 22 years, and I'm still so excited. What keeps me alive is sharing this with all you beautiful people and writing books and getting this message out there, because we don't have to suffer anymore. We don't have to feel all this pain and sadness and depression. I've went over crazy things in my life, and I don't let things bring me down, lost family members and stuff. And yes, I go down for a little bit, but I quickly bounce up because of this beautiful lifestyle.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No, it's so beautiful. And, it's crazy. And you mentioned January 99 or 98. That's when I first read Fit for Life, and what got me started towards raw food, and took a little bit longer to get to raw food. But that's a powerful year for me as well. And I know too, like, you have an amazing story, which is actually a part of your book. It goes into your personal story and healing and, testimony from your life, which is really, really awesome. And you were just mentioning too about mindset and how, this lifestyle has helped you kind of bounce back from things faster. So what would you say is your biggest kind of key mindset advice? Like, life happens, things can be tough, there's a lot of things to focus on, but what do you find really is huge to help somebody just find that calm, find that balance?
Yeah, mindset is a big one. And I don't know if any of you are mountain bikers out there, but the way I like to describe it is, if you have an obstacle in your road, like a big log or rock, all you got to do is get your front tire over it, and then the back tire pops over automatically. So when we get our mindset dialed in, and when we make up our mind, like to be raw vegan, or we make up our mind to go to bed early, or whatever it is, we can be and do anything we set our mind to. So having mindset is the most important thing, and it keeps you positive, and it's something that takes maybe years to learn, or there's a bunch of new books out there that talk about this. But when you start dialing in your mindset and just looking at everything as like a gift, even when bad things happen to me, I look at it as a gift, and I think, what can I learn from this lesson? And my mom would always say my favorite thing was talk to elders and rest homes and things and ask them, what are their big life lessons? And I like to learn easy way and try to learn from someone else's lessons and not have to do it myself, because if you have to go through a hard challenge yourself, it's very hard. And in the beginning with raw food, I was very clear about that. You have to be balanced. You have to have your fruits, you have to have a little bit of fat, and you have to have a bunch of greens and veggies. And when you put that in a nice balanced way, you're not going to have all these issues that many people have. So having that mindset, positive affirmations are really good. When you start feeling like, negative things happen, or like you're not good enough, or you don't deserve this, or I'm a bad person, those are that negative chit chat in your head. So you got to work on, praying and meditating, getting that out of your head, because that self-sabotage really gets us down. And also loving who you are, really getting in that mirror and saying, look in your eyes in that mirror and say, I love you. I'm so grateful for this body, even though my body has so much work to do, and I'm still working on building bigger muscles, but I'm just grateful that I can walk. All these doctors told me I was going to die when I was young and going through puberty. And if I would have listened to them, which I almost started to, I would have actually passed away. And many people who, got vaccine injured and polio and all those things back then, they did crazy surgery, crazy medications, and they ended up passing away. And I'm so thankful for my mom for finding the truth, So water fasting, raw vegan food is just the way to go. But then the whole lifestyle around it, because for me, it was do or die. If I made too many mistakes, that was it for me. There's no like, oh, I have, second, third, fourth, fifth chances. For me, I didn't have that chance. I wasn't gifted that. So I had
You're
to.
hanging on a thread already, right? You're already hanging on a thread.
So my
So,
parents they were adamant about, they're like, lights off, like, you need to fast now for all these days in a row, and like no watching TV. And luckily there wasn't internet and computer back then, but it's just like, and then after a while it become fun because
Jazz.
yeah, my health came bounce back, so you got to make it fun. It's not about just raw vegan food or doing the lifestyle. It's about also having fun, going out there with your friends and just enjoying, really enjoying.
Well, why are we doing this in the first place, right? Yeah, like life isn't about raw food diet. Like it's fun, it's tasty, it's exciting, but we're really doing it. Food is fuel, right? And it just happens to be like really delicious, juicy, messy, and amazing fuel. But that's what we're bringing it to. And I wanted to ask Jess, because you were kind of mentioning about like self-love and gratitude and stuff like that. Like, what would you say to somebody who, for example, is in such a dark place that they can't look at themselves and actually believe themselves if they say, like, I love you, like, they don't feel it. They don't actually they don't feel they deserve that love, and it just feels fake to them. What would you say to someone like that?
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I get a lot of clients. I don't know how people find me, but they just feel my energy and what I went through, so they ask for help. So right away, the thing is to know that every problem we're facing has multiple solutions. That's the number one thing, because what happens is when we get down in that deep, dark place, we feel hopeless. We feel like there's nothing that nobody can do or nobody can help us get out of that, and we ourselves. So the first thing is, we feel really stuck. So the first thing is, if we have that mindset of being stuck, we're going to be stuck. But if you can step back from the emotions and go, this is my emotions that I'm feeling, and this is me, and if you can separate that, that's a big step. Also,
Absolutely.
ask for help. The thing is, there's no dumb questions. There's no silly situation that we cannot ask for help. Of course, we want to ask somebody who's loving and kind this question, but we have to reach out. If we're in a dark hole and we feel like there's no way out, like I was, and before I found this lifestyle and path, I needed help. So my parents were reading books, they were trying things, and that got me out. So firstly, get in touch with somebody. And nowadays with coaches around and someone like me or Chris, you can come and talk to us openly about that. There's no silly questions or, feeling sorry for yourself. So that's the biggest things. And also that self-love, you got to start doing the right things for your health to be reconnected with yourself, because sometimes we're actually living up in our head and we're disconnected from our body and heart. And if we're not in our hearts, we can't feel that self-love, and also whatever the problem is, again, there's multiple solutions to it. So no matter what we're facing, I mean, I had to go through a death in the family, and that was the hardest thing I had to go through. And I was down for a while, but then I thought, what can I do? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And, my mission is, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it to be famous. I mean, I'm happy to just not even be on social media so much, and behind the scenes, I'm answering people's messages and I'm getting them unstuck from their problems. That's my biggest wish, to spread this message. So when I travel, there's juices and there's raw food everywhere, and people are healthy and happy, and we're preserving the earth and doing the right things for the ocean. I mean, that just gets me out of bed when I'm sad and depressed. Even now, I sometimes get sad and depressed when I hear all this crazy negative stuff in the world, And another one is, get away from this negative stuff. We need to shut off this negative news. I mean, we haven't had TV in the house since the 80s, and sadly, Facebook is getting a little bit more negative over the years with all this is happening, that's how, they're doing this to you, When this big virus thing came out, everybody started panicking right away. What did I do? I just wrote a newsletter and I put it out there, and I said to myself, the most important thing is to learn how to boost our immune system naturally, how to protect ourselves naturally, and the rest doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. It doesn't matter about all this negativity and so-called things that are supposedly happening and freedom's going. No, we got to get in touch with our hearts. We got to go spend some time in the forest to get connected with, you know, nature, God, and feel that grounding, and our shoes off, and get our shoes off. So when we do these natural things, it's basically like turning on a GPS. In our heart, there's this area around our heart that's like a GPS, and when we get into that space, it's like a GPS, and it really guides you, and it tells you what to do, you know. So the raw food and the lifestyle is just the basic part. These are the tools that give your beautiful body and soul the connection it needs to run and function perfectly. So me, you know, a lot of people are trying to put me out there on a pedestal or trying to turn me out into a guru, and I love to run away from that, because I teach people how to be their own gurus. I teach people how to get in touch with their own body, because at the end of the day, everybody's different. And, you know, 10 bananas for some person may not work and 5 do, you know, and this green may upset a person and that green may work for somebody. So really everybody's different. But yes, the raw vegan lifestyle works for everybody. And, you know, here it is, 22 years for me, no health problems whatsoever. I mean, the last time I had anything going on with me was, you remember, Chris, when we did the cruise many years ago, I started to kind of lose my voice. I felt like I was about to have a cold or something. And then it was just like that. And that was years ago. And before that, I mean, the body is so resilient and so beautiful. And to be pain-free is just a beautiful gift, because the pain that I had before raw food, it was enough that I wanted to jump off a building and end my life. So maybe this is what people feel in me. And no, I've been there. So I know how you're feeling. If you're down and depressed and have chronic pain or something going on, please hit me up. I would love to share more and help you out of this mess. That's my greatest happiness and joy, to end somebody's suffering the natural way, you know. So that's why I'm here.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, and you're a beautiful man, and it's a beautiful feeling, man, to be able to feel that in yourself and have those changes and then to spread it. You know, I firmly believe that we all are abundant in certain things, and it's through sharing that abundance that everyone is abundant in everything, right? And it's like, some people are abundant in wisdom, and others are abundant in money, and others are abundant in food, and others are abundant in some kind of, you know, specific knowledge somewhere. And if we just share it out, you know, share it when people ask, especially, you know, and just share it when our intuition is ringing, everything's awesome. Puts everything into full swing. It's awesome.
And at the end of the day, what's the most important thing? Peace in our hearts, lots of abundant love, loving ourselves, no matter for our imperfections and things. You know, my nose is a little crooked. You know, I walk kind of funny because I was paralyzed for many years. I'm starting to actually love that about myself, because there's nobody else that walks that way. No, too many people have a little, you know, so love everything about you. Little moles and things on you, that makes you unique. Your hair, the way it forms, or the way your face is, the structure, it's so beautiful. If you have thin cheeks, big cheeks, you know, different, long face, short, I mean, you got to start loving yourself, because when you start loving yourself, then the world and the higher self in you will fall in love with you, and then magic. So, you know, the biggest thing I can say is never, ever, ever, ever give up, no matter what it is, what you have, no matter what doctors say, no matter what it is, just don't give up. Because as soon as you give up, your immune system starts to go down. You start thinking all these negative, dark thoughts. And what happens is you end up giving up. But
self-fulfilling. Self-fulfilling,
So if you want to succeed in raw vegan food, or you want to succeed with financial freedom, or whatever it is, you just keep learning, you keep growing, you know. And that's the thing I also tell people, growth is hard. If you don't know how to do raw vegan in the beginning, or you don't know how to ride a bicycle, it's hard in the beginning. But once
it's scary.
It's bliss, you know. And that's it. We got to find that peace in our heart and bliss. And I would say the biggest and fastest way to get there is, if you're feeling dark inside, if you're feeling down and worried about the world situation, go help somebody right now. Look at your friends on Facebook. There's somebody in need. There's somebody that's maybe suicidal and on the line of giving up, giving their own life up. So please go out there and help people. We need to, that's like, I think we're here to experience bliss and joy and have fun and have this health, but we're actually here to help humanity and move people forward while we're here on earth, to share with people and, you know, move everybody forward. You know, there's so many dark things. And, you know, I would want to say something for social media. People, when they make videos, when they get out of their comfort zone, I'm kind of a shy person. I like to actually be behind the screen one-on-one with people. So, you know, it takes a lot for me to even get out and do this. So, you know, when people put themselves out on social media, you should go and like their thing, put hearts on there, and be appreciative that people actually put themselves out there. Because, you know, so many times I see people's news feed go by, and the first time they're posting their salad on or something, and they don't even get a like or anything from someone. So do everyone a favor and go. If you're going through the news feed and you see something that's catchy or good, I don't care who it is, go and like it, put a heart on it. Feel, you know, that would help, because some people are in a deep dark state that they need a little boost. And that boost, I mean, actually, Chris, I can't tell you how many times I've saw on social media where people were just like posting all these pictures and things, and nobody liked anything. And then I just put like a like on there, and then they sent me a message and they said, I've been trying for 2 weeks to get out there and be noticed, and no one did, and I was going to end my life the next day. You know, so many suffering people out there. So we got to help people. We got to help each other. We're in this together. If we want to change the world, we have to be in it together. Everyone's got to get involved, do something for someone else. I hardly think about me. I don't actually think about food so much. I'm out there in the background. I've got literally hundreds of emails, a couple hundred Facebook messages, and 30, 40 Instagram messages every single day. And I cannot keep up. But I love what I do. I'm here to help and support people. And I want to see this message spread. So we all got to connect. And this bundle is a great way, because it's so many beautiful people are all around the world sharing these things. And, you know, go support the bundle. It's so cheap. I mean, it's really
pretty crazy. And there's so much information, you know, and that's one of the beautiful things there too, is it's just like everyone needs some help, and everyone can learn how to help themselves more. And, you know, something you're kind of touching upon that really resonated true with me too is all of this stuff really kind of pushes away the distraction and brings you back to love, to your center, to your higher self. And once you find that, what do you want to do? You want to spread it, right? And it's like, so sometimes it's important to really focus on yourself and grow. But once you get into a place where you're starting to feel that love bubble up inside, share it. It grows, it multiplies more and more and more. And if you can't feel it, well then, share it. And that way you can connect with someone else, and that helps to blossom it up as well.
Yes, absolutely. And also, when you see somebody desperate out there, don't think it's a joke, you know? I had a beautiful soul in New Jersey, USA, and I'm here in Croatia, and I cannot help him. And he was so down and depressed for years and had things going on. And I had on Facebook 300 friends in the New York, New Jersey area. And I tagged 300, I wrote a message and tagged everyone in it took several messages for somebody to go help this beautiful person who was trying to get into raw food and stuff. Nobody helped him. He's been suffering for years and years and years. And sadly, he passed away alone, cold, nobody around him. And that just broke my heart. So it almost made me want to leave social media, because if someone's out there suffering, and here's another tip. If you see somebody, if you scroll through your friends' profiles and you see someone who hasn't posted in a long time, better go check how they're doing, especially during this crazy time. There's a lot of people depressed and not feeling good. So we got to spread love. We got to help one another. That's how we raise each other. You know, it's a more challenging time.
And I think it's also always important to recognize that sometimes people are in such a place that they don't feel they have that energy to help other people, right? And so when you do feel like you do, or if you just notice it and your intuition says something, then do it, right? And then reach out and help each other. And you know, you never know how big of a difference it makes. Just like you said, you've seen it make the difference in people's lives and have them continue on. And it is so true. It is 1,000 times so true.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Well, bless you, Jesse, man. So I so appreciate you, and I know everyone here appreciates you. And you know, you're such a gem within the raw food scene. You know, taking it, you know, to a real level and looking at it in an unbiased, like whole lifestyle way, which is just so important. You know, not about fanciness or this or that, right? And I really appreciate you, man. It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much, everyone, for the awesome comments and questions and for the love shared hugs back. And thank you,
Yeah,
Rennie, for jumping in here.
thank you.
And thank you, Jesse, for coming on here and talking from the heart.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, all you brothers and sisters out there, take care and keep in touch. And if something comes up and you need support, please hit me up. I love to support everybody. And please, yeah, go check out the bundle. I mean, it's a crazy deal. You know, 49
Absolutely.
bucks, super hard work with all those books. And yeah, link is in my bio if you want. So
I encourage everyone to go to Jesse's right now and hit follow and hit the link and grab your bundle 100%. So Jess, I'm going to take about I'm going to take about like 3 to 5 minutes to get this set up so that it goes onto my page, and I'll give you a quick note and then let's jump on yours.
Okay, yeah, so if everybody comes on my page, The Whole Lifestyle, I will be doing a live with Chris in about 3 to 5 minutes. So see you there. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. So happy to be here with you all. Love you all so much, more than words can describe. So take care, everyone. See you on my page in a few minutes. Okay.
Peace.
The Whole Lifestyle with Jesse Bogdanovich. Ooh, don't forget to check out my raw recipes playlist in the top left, the video just for you in the top right, subscribe for more videos in the bottom right, and get your 3 free ebooks in the bottom left. Grab your free raw recipe app, available on iPhone and Android, with over 100 free raw recipes, common fruit and vegetable calorie breakdown, frickin' raw, some food combining chart, shopping cart function, and so much more.